In this unit, I want to show you how to become what is called a Penn dot agent. A Penn dot agent is a person or a business that's authorized by the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation to perform vehicle titling and registration services. You can be what's called a full agent, a card agent, or a messenger. Services performed by Penn dot agents include completing vehicle title applications, issuing temporary registration plates, issuing in-transit registration plates, transferring vehicle titles, and completing duplicate vehicle title applications as well. So, it also allows you to collect the sales tax from the customer, order the customer title, issue registration plates, but you must take training to become a Penn dot agent. I want to repeat that. You must take training to become a Penn dot agent. And as I said a little bit earlier, if you have a $20,000 dealer bond, you cannot issue registration plates. But if you hold a $30,000 dealer surety bond, you can issue registration plates after you complete your Penn dot agent training course. So I really recommend when you're starting your license process at the very beginning, go ahead and get the $30,000 bond, because later on, if you do decide to issue plates and things like that, you won't have to upgrade your bond. So let's talk about your Penn dot agent training. Employees with 1 year or less experience or newly hired employees must attend a basic title and registration certified training class not more than 1 year from the date of the hire. Employees with more than 1 year experience as an employee of an agent service whose direct responsibilities fall within the definition of those that require training and have no history of sanctions or contractual noncompliance are exempt from the initial title and registration training requirement. However, these individuals are required to take a certified agent services training course not more than 1 year from the date of hire. So if you're looking for a Pennsylvania agent trainer, you can easily Google PA agent trainers, and you'll easily be able to find a training course that's approved by the state. Next, I want to show you how to file your annual Pennsylvania business report. Filing annual reports for Pennsylvania business owners. You must file an annual report every year, and the state will notify you via email and postcard before your deadline. And as I said a little bit earlier, the state does charge $7 per annual report. Okay, and I want to show you how to do that report right now. This is mandatory. If you ever forget to do a annual report, you're going to get some extensive fines. So I want to show you how easy this is to do. First of all, you're going to get that email or postcard from the state when your registration is done. And there's those registration deadlines that I talked about a little bit earlier in the course. If you need a refresher, you can certainly take a look at your deadlines based on your business entity. So you're easily going to do this at file.dos.pa.gov. And if you haven't created an account, if it's your first registration, you're going to need to click the login screen right there. And we're going to go ahead and complete that registration on there. And you'll easily be able to search for your business name if you need that. And then you can easily file your annual report. Very, very easy to do, and it is required every single year. So you'll just scroll through here, and you can easily file your report. And once again, you're going to see all those links that you see right here. And the initial report is going to take a little bit longer, but once you've been a dealer and you're doing this every year, it's going to sail you through this very, very easily, and they'll already have your information in the annual reporting system. But this is a requirement for all dealers, and in fact, for every single business owner. So there is a $7 fee, so you're going to be taken to the state secure payment portal where you can pay that fee, and then you'll also get a receipt like this one that says this is your annual business filing receipt. So you want to print this up and save it in your files. I want to reiterate, if you do not do that mandatory annual filing, then you will get fines from the state. And if you're a perennial non-filer, then they may revoke your dealer's license as well. So I really want you to be aware that this is part of the gig. All dealers must file your annual report every single year. So please do keep that in mind. And the state will send you a postcard and an email reminder on that. So please do keep that in mind. Next, I want to talk to you about salespersons licensing, sales tax, and document fees. Let's talk about salespersons licensing. Any person who, for a commission or compensation or other consideration, is employed by a dealer to buy, sell, or exchange one or more new or used vehicles must hold a salesperson's license. Now, you as a licensed Pennsylvania motor vehicle dealer do not need a salesperson license because you're a licensed motor vehicle dealer. But when you hire someone to sell for you, they'll need to have a salesperson's license. And you can easily obtain their salesperson's license through your PALS account. Each salesperson license must be licensed for only one dealer at a time. Okay, so you can't have a salesperson that's licensed for multiple dealers. Only one salesperson can work for one dealer. All salesperson licenses need to be issued at the primary location, and it will be you, as the licensed motor vehicle dealer's responsibility to distribute salesperson's license to the appropriate branch office if you have branch offices that desire to work at other locations. This would only apply to you if you are running multiple locations. So please keep this in mind. When you are hiring a salesperson, you must obtain them a salesperson's license through your PALS account. And once again, since you're a licensed Pennsylvania motor vehicle dealer, you're on the dealer's license, you do not need a separate salesperson's license. They do have extensive penalties if a dealer in the state of Pennsylvania does not get a salesperson's license for any employee that's conducting sales activity. Next, I want to talk to you about Pennsylvania sales tax. It's very important for every licensed Pennsylvania dealer to have a really good understanding and knowledge of Pennsylvania sales tax. Pennsylvania sales tax is 6% of the purchase price or the current value of the vehicle. It's going to be 7% for residents of Allegheny County and 8% for Philadelphia residents. Okay? If a motor vehicle is taken by the dealer as a trade-in, the tax is imposed between the difference of the purchase price and the value of the motor vehicle. That's a trade-in allowance, which I'll show you here in just a couple moments. So, who is subject to sales tax in Pennsylvania? First of all, Pennsylvania residents. So you have somebody that lives in Pennsylvania, we're going to charge them sales tax. Persons that have what's called an abode, that's a home in Pennsylvania, a business purchaser with a business in Pennsylvania, or a person using a vehicle for business in Pennsylvania. Okay, we're going to charge sales tax for any one of these entities. Now, if you just have somebody that comes up from Georgia to buy a vehicle and they have no relation to you, then you're not going to charge sales tax. They're going to go back to Georgia and pay their sales tax there. Or if you have somebody that lives in Colorado and they see this car you got for sale on Auto Trader and they fly into Pittsburgh and buy the vehicle from you or whatever, we're not going to charge that. But if they have an abode or if they have a business or whatever with a Pennsylvania entity, we're going to charge sales tax. Now, there are some exempt sales tax, sales to other licensed dealers. Remember, when you're a dealer and you buy a vehicle to resell, you don't have to pay sales tax. So when you're buying a vehicle from another dealer, we're not going to pay sales tax. Any person that lives outside the state of Pennsylvania or an exempt organization with a valid exemption organization certificate, such as, let's say maybe you're selling a van to a church and that church is a nonprofit. So when you're selling a vehicle to a nonprofit, they don't normally pay sales tax either, but you want to make sure that when you're selling to a vehicle to someone as a nonprofit, they need to show you their organization certificate and prove that they are tax exempt. Joe Bob is not a tax exempt organization unless Joe Bob can show you his organization's tax exempt certificate. So please keep that in mind. There could be some other exemptions allowed as well. I want to explain to you a trade-in allowance, okay? A trade-in allowance is subtracted from the purchase price of the vehicle before taxes are applied. The buyer only pays tax on the difference between the purchase price and the trade-in allowance. The trade-in allowance can also lower the buyer's taxable income. So let me just show you an example here, okay? Now, let's say you sell a car for $5,000 with no trade-in. The taxable value is $5,000. So you can charge sales tax on $5,000 for Pennsylvania residents or Pennsylvania business entities. Now let's go ahead and throw a trade in there. Let's make it as easy as possible. Let's say we're selling a $5,000 car and we're taking a $2,000 trade-in. So we're going to take the $5,000 car, we're going to subtract the $2,000 trade-in, and that equals the taxable value. So in that scenario, we take the $5,000 minus $2,000 equals $3,000, which is going to be the taxable value. Now, I think you're going to have a lot of customers are going to ask you, what do I have to pay out the door? So having a little bit of a knowledge of what they're going to pay will give them an idea of exactly what they're going to pay out the door. But no matter what, whenever you boot up your dealer software program, it's going to add that up for you. Now, with that one thing I do want you to be aware, if you're offering any type of warranty, you're also going to charge sales tax on the warranty. So let's say you sold a $5,000 car and you also sold a $200 warranty. You're going to take the warranty price and add it to the taxable value. So that would be $5,000 plus $200 and maybe additional equipment of $200, then $5,400. Now that sounds complicated, but it's really not, okay? Because when you're using a good dealer management software program, it's automatically going to figure up the Pennsylvania transaction sales tax automatically for you. So, if you do need that, discountdealercenter.com. Discountdealercenter.com is a program I've been using. So it'll do all of your Pennsylvania deal paperwork. It'll figure up the exact sales tax and wire transfers everything for you automatically. So hopefully you're not considering getting into this business unless you've got a good dealer management software program. Next, I want to talk to you about document fees. Licensed Pennsylvania dealers can charge what's called a document preparation fee for the preparation of title and registration paperwork as part of the process of selling a motor vehicle to our retail customers. Documentary fees are not required by the state. Documentary fees are considered expenses of the dealer or services necessary to complete the sale. Now, it's really good to have a good understanding of this because you might think that the markup of the vehicle is going to be the majority of your profits, which it normally is, and that's where you buy that vehicle at a very low wholesale price and mark it up to a high retail price. The majority of your profits are going to usually be the markup of the vehicle. Well, the state also allows you to charge a documentary fee, and this is addition. So you can charge this for basically all of your expenses to complete the paperwork. Now, with that being said, the documentary fee is non-taxable and may be excluded from the dealer's advertised price for the sale of the vehicle. So the actual dollar amount may not be pre-printed on the buyer's order. It is a dealer-imposed fee and not a state-mandated fee. That must be disclosed on any bill of sale that you're using as well, and must be disclosed on a sign in your dealership. I want to repeat that. If you are going to charge this document fee, then you must disclose it on a sign in your dealership that it is not a state-required fee, that it is a dealership fee. So please do keep that in mind. Now, the maximum document fee changes every single year, and it is directly related to the Nationwide Consumer Price Index. So if a Pennsylvania dealership's document fee exceeds that year's permissible charge, the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office may consider it to be deceptive and find that subject to enforcement. So I want to kind of show you a fee chart here just to kind of give you an idea of the last few years, okay? So there on the screen, you're going to see the calendar years and how it does change based on the Consumer Price Index. So you want to make sure you are never, ever charging more than what's allowed annual. Be sure to confirm the maximum document fee every year that's allowed by state law. And you can call the State Board of Vehicle Manufacturers, Dealers, and Salespersons at 717-783-1697 to find that information out if that's helpful for you. In the next unit, we're going to go ahead and cover your dealer plates, and I'm going to show you how to issue temporary tags.